Coming up on Valley View News, fighting food insecurity. Valley Food Bank is doing its part. Plus, Glendale is breaking into the latest car technology. And
I think it's a really good experience to play other colleges.
California State University Northridge is taking on tennis.
Hello and welcome to Valley View News. I am Lupita Baltazar.
And I'm Emelie Fitzgerald.
We start with the heavy storms rocking California. Southern areas continue to experience intense rain and heavy snow. The National Weather Service says they are the strongest storms in decades. Rare blizzard warnings were in place in mountain areas over the weekend. It's the first time since 1989. More than 100,000 Californians were without power due to high winds.
Icy conditions prompted the closure of the 5 freeway in Tejon Pass over the weekend. Take a look. CHP Fort Tejon tweeted these photos. They show the heavy snowfall and ice on the roads that shut down Grapevine this weekend. The 14 freeway east of Santa Clarita and mountain roads were also closed due to the snow. According to the NWS, more snow will hit as low as 3,000 feet over the next few days, affecting the Grapevine.
Even some parts of LA County saw snow this week as a historic storm hit the area. Snow was seen at elevations as low as 1,000 feet, affecting Santa Clarita and some suburbs to the east. Landslides and flooding closed roadways and damaged pavement in low-lying areas. LA City firefighters airlifted 4 homeless people stranded in the river's flood-controlled basin. Lightning strikes temporarily closed LA beaches. Forecasters say another storm will hit this week with more rain and snow expected.
Over 27,000 people remained without power as of Monday morning. The LA Department of Water and Power says the storm wiped out electricity for thousands of others. Crews worked on it overnight to restore it, but with another round of rain and strong winds expected in the coming days, more power outages are possible.
In harsh weather conditions, it is important to remain cautious. Our reporter Maximus Osborne weathers the storm to warn about potential dangers.
What began as light showers through the night turned intense within moments. Southern California experienced one of the most powerful storms in recent memory. Experts warned of heavy rain and rare blizzard-like conditions. The storm lived up to the expectations, despite having a slower start in some areas. The puddles that you've been actively trying to avoid, such as this one right here, is just the start of what's to come. We're expecting extreme precipitation, and trust me, that'll be much harder to avoid. Southern California is notorious for wildfires and droughts, so there is a metaphorical bright side to this storm. CSUN student and LA native Jeremy Davlos says that the rain brings a lot of benefits.
I always like when we get rain here in Southern California. It doesn't happen that often, so whenever it does, it's always nice to get to hear the sounds.
Avoiding excessive dryness is good news. However, experts say storms like this are dangerous. Accidents on the road are also common in a storm. Priya Ganguly is a CSUN geological studies professor.
And you probably also noticed that the roads, there's a lot more potholes that happen. You'll have saturation of the soil underneath the road as well.
There are many new drivers who aren't used to driving in rain conditions in Southern California. The Department of Transportation estimates that 21% of car accidents are due to weather conditions.
The first rains of the season in an urban area are always the slickest because of that oil and then water on the oil.
In Northridge for Valley View News, I'm Maximus Osborne.
Maximus, thank you. As blizzard-like conditions hit Southern California, LA County is reminding the public about its winter shelter program. The facilities are open to residents 18 and older who are experiencing homelessness. They serve 3 meals at 3 times a day. They also welcome pets and emotional support animals. Homeless residents can call 211 to check the bed availability as the program runs through March.
The heavy storms also affected our local beaches. They reopened this weekend after being closed for a day due to lightning strikes. The LA County Fire Department says lifeguards continue to monitor conditions. Lightning was also detected in Orange County beaches, though most remained open.
Many of us have felt the impact of inflation. The uncertainty over inflation and economic slowdown are likely to continue this week. Federal officials say that while it has moderated, the overall level remains too high and it's spooking investors. According to Friday's U.S. stocks reading, all major U.S. indexes fell at least 1%. In January, egg prices rose 8.5%, and sales were expected to drop. However, consumers were still buying eggs and even more. Ironic, isn't it? Overall, experts claim the economy and the markets will not remain strong for much longer.
CalFresh benefits are soon to expire at the end of this month. Valley View News' Isabella talked to a local food bank to see how it might affect their stock.
It's an early morning here at Valley Food Bank. Volunteers are stocking trucks to be sent off to their sister locations across San Fernando. Jeremiah Booth is the director of Valley Food Bank. He says there's been a huge uptick of those in need.
And we've seen an increase from roughly 5,500 families 1 year ago to nearly 8,000 families being served on a monthly basis right now.
With current inflation and the growing number of those in need, Booth says their stock is getting hit.
Stores have been running shorter on their shelves, which then means in turn, the food banks are then impacted as well, because then there's less turnover with food that's expiring or getting close to expiration.
CalFresh users have been hit with a huge drop in benefits. The COVID-19 Relief Fund gave users $300 a month benefits. Those are expected to be reduced to just $23 a month by March. Booth is expecting even more families to be in need.
Obviously going to put a great deal of strain back on families who are already under pressure, who are already facing challenges.
You can help out here at Valley Food Bank by going to their website, valleyfoodbank.org. Reporting from rainy Pacoima, I'm Isabella Warren for Valley View News.
Thanks, Isabella. Now for an update on the COVID-19 pandemic. LA County health officials say infection cases keep dropping. As of last week, less than 700 people were hospitalized due to COVID-related illnesses. 64 of those patients were in the intensive care unit. COVID-related deaths have also declined this month. Though numbers have dropped, officials say residents should get vaccinated and boosted.
On a national level, a major milestone in the fight against COVID-19 and the flu. The Food and Drug Administration approved the first at-home test for both diseases. The Lucira test kit can be purchased without a prescription. Nasal swab samples deliver results in 30 minutes. The test is for those with symptoms consistent with the respiratory tract infection. It can be used on children as young as 2.
The CDC is warning of a drug-resistant bacteria called Shigella. It can cause fever, abdominal pain, and bloody diarrhea. Officials say Shigella spreads through contaminated foods or water, via surfaces, through sex. Unhoused individuals, international travelers, and people living with HIV are more prone, and cases are expected to peak this summer.
Help is on the way for small businesses in LA County. The Board of Supervisors launched the Economic Opportunity Grant Program. It will distribute more than $54 million across 6,800 grants to small and micro businesses. The funds come from the American Rescue Plan Act and California Office of Small Business Advocate. Officials say businesses impacted by the pandemic will be prioritized. The program runs through June. Interested applicants can visit grant.lacounty.gov.
Some California lawmakers are pushing to eventually ban all tobacco sales in the state. Assembly Bill 935 would allow current tobacco users to continue consuming the products. However, anyone younger than 16 would never be able to buy them. Advocates say the bill would make sure the next generation avoids smoking addiction. Others say the measure could mean a loss of significant tax dollars collected through tobacco sales. The proposal is also likely to face strong opposition from the tobacco industry. As of Monday, the bill had not been assigned to a committee. Hearings are expected to begin after March 17th.
We are learning more details of the LA Unified School District's recent cyber attack. Officials say approximately 2,000 student assessment records were posted on the dark web, including those for 60 who are currently enrolled. Records also include driver license and social security numbers. In a statement, LAUSD leaders say the hack was largely unsuccessful. The district did not say how many affected students have been notified of the breach.
Planning on filling your tank this week? Well, the average price of a gallon of self-serve regular gasoline in LA County rose 0.1 cent to $4.84 as of Monday. The average price has increased 27.6 cents over the past 25 days. In Orange County, the average price dropped to $4.80. The national average price has now dropped for the 27th time in 29 days.
If the high gas prices weren't already a worry for drivers, catalytic converter thefts are also on the rise. Valley View News' reporter Nicole San Juan has more on why the auto part is targeted.
Catalytic converter crimes are still on the rise and they just won't stop. According to the LAPD, there were approximately 851 auto part thefts in January 2023. Liz Vargas says the precious metals in the part are what's valuable.
They have platinum, palladium, rhodium, and sometimes gold.
The metals inside are melted and sold for money. Thousands of dollars are on the line. However, while these thieves make money, others are spending way too much to replace the expensive parts.
Catalytic converters are upwards of $1,200. They're OEM in California only, so original equipment manufacturer, which is the dealers, so you can't buy them aftermarket, which makes them very pricey.
These are some of the items thieves use to steal catalytic converters. All you have to do is twist the item up, pop it under the car, and just lift it up. It's just that easy.
There are possible solutions to this problem. Some auto shops offer forms of protection.
I do see a lot of shops creating kind of like a barrier or like a net or fence type thing to make it harder to cut through, but they still get through.
As these crimes continue to rise, so are the orders for catalytic converters. The parts can take months due to back orders. Reporting from Inglewood, I'm Nicole San Juan for Valley View News.
Nicole, thank you. More to come on Valley View News. El Salvador is cracking down on gang violence, and electrical bikes and scooters are a potential fire hazard. Stay with us.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. Those 9 months were also 273 days of planning. What about your daughter's first costume party? It was out of this world. And let's not forget those barbecues you plan in detail for your family and your more vegetarian by the day best friends. Surprise party for your parents' golden anniversary? You get the golden planning. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
Welcome back. A boat wreckage off the coast of Italy ended with death. Sonia Hugh is in our digital media center with details. Sonia?
That's right, Aaliyah. Such devastating news. At least 58 migrants were killed in a boat crash off the coast of southern Italy this weekend. More than 81 people were rescued. The Italian Coast Guard says they came from Iran, Iraq, Afghanistan, Pakistan, and Syria. They boarded a 66-foot-long wooden boat when they crashed onto the shores of eastern Calabria. The government official says that 20 are hospitalized. The mayor of Cutro says children and a baby are among the dead. Crotone Stadium will be used as a morgue for now while the search for survivors continues. Turkey is investigating contractors and property owners that were made aware of just how dangerous their new buildings were. It's all in the light of the deadly 7.8 earthquake that rocked the country this month. 184 people have already been arrested and 600 others are under investigation. Thousands of buildings were damaged from the recent earthquakes in Turkey and Syria. The confirmed death toll has reached over 50,000. Some experts are blaming the president's administration for failing to implement building regulations. Last weekend, Nigerians across the country voted in its most competitive election in years. The nation has suffered economic pain in the last 8 years and threats from armed groups. Some polling stations had over 7 hours of wait times. Others had verification issues and lack of staff. For one station in Lagos, masked gunmen stole the ballot box and fired around the room. The election results will take several days to be announced. One country in Latin America is cracking down on suspected gang members. Thousands were moved to a new mega prison in El Salvador. Prisoners were stripped down to white shorts and their heads were shaved. The country's Congress passed an exception last year that allowed members to be arrested without a warrant and remove their rights to a lawyer. Many human rights organizations argue that innocent people have been arrested and that at least a dozen have died. The country's security minister says it will continue until all gang members are captured. Protesters filled Mexico City in this weekend in support of the National Electoral Institute. Demonstrators says President Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador is threatening democracy with his new electoral law changes. They would cut salaries and funding for local election offices and reduce sanctions for candidates who don't report campaign spendings. Marchers dressed in white and pink, the colors of the institute, and shouted slogans like, "Don't touch my vote." Lopez Obrador still remains popular with around 60% approval ratings. That's the latest in international news. I'm Sonia Hugh. Back to you.
Thank you, Sonia. The U.S. Energy Department has concluded with low confidence that the origin of COVID-19 came from a lab leak in China. Two theories have recently been supported. The first, it occurred naturally and spread through animals. The other theory is accidental in Wuhan, China. Both working theories are in line with the FBI's finding in 2021. Biden's national security advisor says there is no definitive answer yet, and there is unconscious for both theories.
Central Florida continues to mourn the loss of 3 innocent people killed by a gunman on Wednesday. The victims include a 9-year-old girl, a woman, and a TV journalist. 24-year-old Dylan Lyons was identified as a reporter for Spectrum News 13. Jesse Walden, his photographer, was also injured but is in stable condition. Both were covering the shooting. The suspect is 19-year-old Keith Melvin Moses. He is believed to have killed the first victim in her vehicle and left the scene, then returned and he killed Lyons and 9-year-old Tiana Major. Investigators say that the suspect didn't know Major or Lyons, and a motive remains unknown.
5 people are dead after a medical transport flight crashed in Nevada this weekend. The pilot, flight nurse, flight paramedic, patient, and patient's family member were among the victims. The National Transportation Safety Board says it appears to have broken up mid-flight. Several parts of the plane have been recovered, but officials say the aircraft wasn't equipped with a cockpit voice or flight data recorder. Nevada was hit with a winter weather advisory this weekend with heavy snow and wind gusts for up to 65 miles per hour. Officials have not announced if weather was a factor.
12 Democratic states are suing the FDA to challenge federal restrictions on the distribution of an abortion pill. The federal lawsuit is led by Washington State and Oregon. It aims to expand access to the pill mifepristone by allowing it to be prescribed and dispensed by any doctor or pharmacy. Currently, doctors who prescribe the pill and pharmacies that dispense it must obtain a special certification. An FDA spokesperson declined to comment on the lawsuit.
A warning from New York City officials. They say lithium batteries are responsible for starting more than 20 fires this year. The batteries are used in electric bikes and scooters, which are a main method of transportation in the city. The fires have been caused by malfunctioning devices that were left to charge overnight. Mayor Eric Adams and Fire Commissioner Laura Cavanagh say they are working to educate the public and add additional regulations for the batteries.
A local city is one of many helping residents transition to electric cars. Valley View News' Zena Taher has more on the installation of new chargers at a Glendale parking garage.
As gas prices continue to fluctuate, more people are turning to hybrid and electric cars like these. The city of Glendale is taking notice and just installed 25 new EV chargers.
Glendale's electric vehicle population has almost tripled since 2016, with growth expected to continue coming years.
With elevated usage,
you see such a variety of vehicles. You see electric assist bikes. As you can see, we have an electric pickup truck charging right there.
And even the Department of Water and Power joining in.
Next to me are 2 Nissan Leafs that GWP utilizes. And also the Glendale Police Department uses the electric motorcycles.
City officials say the installations were a logical next step in increasing accessibility.
Future projects will be prioritized in areas to serve low-income, multifamily customers and disadvantaged communities.
Glendale is far from the only city working to charge up its electric vehicle infrastructure. The effort is going on statewide.
By 2035, 100% of new cars and light trucks sold in California will be zero-emissions vehicles, including plug-in hybrid electric vehicles.
Officials with the Glendale DWP say that there are currently projects in the works to create 48 more chargers like these ones. Reporting from Glendale for Valley View News, I'm Zena Talker.
Thank you, Zena. In its latest efforts to combat climate change, California is now planning to capture carbon in the air and store it underground. The state will establish pipelines underground to store the carbon. Opposers are concerned about the safety of building the pipelines. The plan is part of a 20-year effort spearheaded by Governor Newsom that would require the state to remove as much carbon as possible by 2045.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
Feel the beat of nature at a park or forest near you. Find a forest and music inspired by nature at discovertheforest.org.
Welcome back. Everything Everywhere All at Once was a big winner at the Screen Actors Guild Awards over the weekend. It swept awards in almost all film categories, including lead actress for Michelle Yeoh. Supporting actresses Jamie Lee Curtis and supporting actor Ke-Huy Quan were recognized too. Ke-Huy Quan is the first Asian actor to win a SAG award. Brendan Fraser snagged a Best Lead Actor award for his role in The Whale. In television, The White Lotus won 2 categories, Best Supporting Actress for Jennifer Coolidge and Best Drama Ensemble.
Rihanna continues to work. For the first time, the singer is nominated for an Oscar for the Best Original Song category. She'll perform the song Lift Me Up from Marvel's Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, at this year's Oscars award ceremony. She deserves that. Isn't Black Panther your favorite Avenger?
It is. I can't wait to see it, honestly.
Excited for you.
This year's Oscars award ceremony is around the corner, and for the first time ever, there will be a crisis team. It's being launched after last year's infamous slapping incident between actor Chris Rock and Will Smith. The team will deal with an unpredictable incidents during the live show. Oscar producer Glenn Wise says it's an extra layer of safety. This year's Oscars will be hosted by late-night host Jimmy Kimmel on March 12th. What a great fit, right?
That's the third time, and I want to say third time's a charm, but he obviously has this under wraps.
Yes, definitely.
Actor Alec Baldwin pleaded not guilty of manslaughter charges. Baldwin allegedly accidentally shot and killed cinematographer Helena Hutchins with a prop weapon on a film on set in October of 2021. As the case goes through the legal system, he is not allowed to drink alcohol, own a gun, or talk to other witnesses. Since the incident, sets have implemented more safety precautions with the use of prop guns.
New York officially unveiled its first permanent indoor pickleball court. Fitness Center Lifetime invested in the sport as a response to a growing trend. The game combines tennis and badminton. In the last year and a half, the center spent an estimated $500 million buying up real estate for pickleball courts.
On the local court, the CSUN Matadors competed against other college teams in the SoCal Sectional Championship for tennis. Valley View News' Tom LeGrand has more about our players' performance in San Diego last weekend.
20 college teams from all Southern California competed against each other in the U.S. Tennis Sectional Championship in San Diego, among them UCLA, USC, Pepperdine, and the CSUN Matadors.
I think it's a really good experience to play other colleges and other people from other colleges, because whether or not you want to go pro or it's just something you want to do, it's really good to hit with other people because that's what tennis is all about.
At the Barnes Tennis Center, CSUN women's Matadors stood out. Aminata Singh overpowered UC Irvine and CSU Fullerton, while Sydney O'Neill pulled off a close win over Claremont Pomona in a tiebreaker. Together, they overthrew CSU Long Beach.
Yes, the competition was intense and the stakes were high. Not only did the players have the chance to go home with sweatshirts, cans of ball, or a huge trophy, the top 5 placing teams received a bid for the national championship that will be held in Arizona early April.
Although our team didn't make it through the toughest competitors there, R.B. Evanescen, president of CSUN Tennis Club, said he was proud of the team's performances.
Each year, our club has been improving with our talent in the club, and I've been seeing a steady improvement in our scores and just the overall level of satisfaction of our club members when we come out to these tournaments.
I think I did better than expected, but also I know I could improve a little bit, but that's kind of what the club is for, so I look forward to more tournaments in the future.
That was Tom LeGrand reporting. Thank you. Hear this. While NFL newcomers cashed out on big houses and fast cars, former Cincinnati Bengals Chad Johnson held off. He spent his first 2 years on the team living inside the Bengals stadium. He had access to showers, a cafeteria, a TV, and a gaming system. Even though he earned millions throughout his career, the 45-year-old says he wasn't tempted to buy expensive items. Johnson estimated he saved at least 80% of his salary.
The long-awaited boxing match finally happened. Tom Fury and YouTuber turned boxer Jake Paul fought a hefty fight. Paul suffered his first loss. The match happened in Saudi Arabia for the special Diriyah Championship belt. The fight was delayed several times because of issues, including Fury's visa being denied at one point. Both men are open to a rematch, but Fury says he will enjoy time with his girlfriend and his newborn daughter before then.
The NBA's Russell Westbrook debuted with Los Angeles Clippers with the right foot. After a rough season with Los Angeles Lakers, the 34-year-old player scored 17 points, 14 assists, and 7 turnovers in only 39 minutes. Despite Westbrook's performance, the Clippers lost to the Sacramento Kings 176-175. It was the second highest scoring game in the NBA history.
Now, Disney fans in California, listen up. A new addition is coming to Disney California Adventure. Rogers, the musical, will be performed this summer at the Hyperion Theater. The musical was first featured as part of the Disney Plus series Hawkeye. It's now being turned into a one-act stage production about the life of the first Captain America. The storyline, music, and debut date will be announced next month.
That's all for us at Valley View News. I am Lupita Baltazar.
And I'm Aaliyah Fitzgerald. For stories any time of day, go to our website, csunvalleyview.com. Thanks for watching.